Good morning and welcome. Happy Wednesday. It's Hump Day. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and it is downright chilly here in the Valley of the Sun. I'm hearing there may be snow in the outskirts. You know, Cave Creek, Carefree, could be snowed tonight or tomorrow. It was 30-something degrees again in my car. I got to start my car. You know, thank God that cars cost an extra, 100% more than they did 20 years ago, because now I can start my car from my bedroom, and that way I don't have to sit in my car and wait for it to defrost anymore. Well worth it. Don't worry, there's no inflation out there. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. You know the website, www.allamericangold.com. And as promised, a legend, the man, the myth, a legend in his own mind. What do you call the person that he's groomed me into this, the guy that I look up to, the guy that started it all, Eric Cedarstrom. Good morning.
Morning, Joe. Man, it's great to be here. I cannot believe the sound quality, how it's changed. I'm just sitting here listening to you and the opening music roll, and it's like being at home, man, listening on my stereo. You've done a wonderful job.
It only took 23 years to get to this point, but here we are.
You know what I like? The self-starting cars you mentioned. When you get old, you forget you started them. You go on, you're like 2 hours later, it's out of gas, the battery's dead. I don't know. So I really don't even know why I'm here. Honest to God, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, come on. I begged you.
Well, I was walking by the studio, and two guys with Make America Great Again hats threw a noose over my neck and drug me into the studio. I swear. That's what happened today.
That's exactly what. Two black guys and make America great.
And they've said, this is how Mega rolls. Here's the mic.
Start talking.
So I'm here. That's. I was minding my own business.
This is a paid program and is provided for informational purposes only.
He's back.
Ramon. I love Ramon. I forgot how excellent a producer that this station has. This show, you are a credit to producers, Ramon. Thanks for that. All right, I'll try to keep it, dialed back a little bit today. But anyway, I'm glad to be here. It's been a long, long, long time. I've pretty much been retired for about 4 or 5 years. I got a real estate license, a car dealer's license, a marriage license, a cat license, dog license, CDL, truck driver license. I have a license for everything. Marriage license, you name it, I got it. And yes, we even have the peanut gallery making comments.
Yes. Arlene is throwing in her licenses.
So everybody's licensed up here, and I got to tell you that it doesn't really do you much good. Did you see Arizona? Arizona, if you want to get a real estate license, and you know what's interesting? To get a car dealer's license, you don't have to get fingerprinted. Those are the guys, they should be fingerprinted. I kid you not.
So no fingerprints required for that.
For car guys. I mean, and
well, let's face it, if they did that, there'd be no car salesmen.
Right. I mean, it would thin out the car lots quite precipitously. But to be a realtor or to get a hazmat, to drive a propane truck or something, you have to get fingerprinted. And you got to be a realtor. You got to do the TSA background check. You have to do all that.
Yeah, there'd be like a volunteer coach or even a high school or middle school coach of any sort. You got to do that as well.
Right. So yeah, or any volunteer job. Now they're talking about.
I would imagine teachers probably got to do it and whatnot.
There's a bill put in front. I wrote it down. I think it's 1475 Senate bill, House, Arizona, that they want you on top of your fingerprints to submit your DNA sample, and they want it on file. You have to pay $250. You get fingerprinted, and you've got to give them a DNA sample, and they put it on file. So they have it, so law enforcement has it. Now, in the front of Drudge Report today, there was an article about, the 23andMe, where you send in your DNA. Apparently, they're just sending that also to the FBI.
Yeah, you do that like Ancestry.com
Right.
thing, or if you want to know if you're more Native American than Elizabeth Warren,
Right.
you know, they've got all of that. They got a nice database there.
Well, the ramifications of this are enormous. I mean, it's something that you really, if you stop and think why anyone would do it. I mean, I know why I wouldn't do it. I would light that U.S. map up like a pinball machine. I'm worried about that, from my younger days. But probably, they can take like a strain of family members and they run their DNA and they go, well, all these guys die in their 50s and they deny life insurance. I mean,
you took that a whole different way.
Right, government health insurance, government health care. They can actually dictate what you're going to get by your DNA. And, I mean, it's the ultimate Big Brother deal.
You know what's so funny? It was a Republican that has proposed the legislation. It is Senate Bill 1475, and they want it for anyone who has to be fingerprinted by the state for any job. Doesn't matter. If you get a fingerprint, they want a DNA.
Now, this comes out, of course, if you've been following, it made national news. The gal who was, for lack of better words, incapacitated and somehow became
the nursing home.
Yeah, in a nursing home.
She's been in a coma / vegetative state.
Right.
And
she gets pregnant.
Right.
So now they got to do DNA and find the guy who did it. Now they're like, well, if the nurses, these are government care facilities that are just wasting money anyway. So if they had his DNA on file, it would have saved him a step. But what's amazing is no one knew she was pregnant. Well, they figure she was sneaking out drinking beer at night. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after these messages.
By now the fighting will be close at hand.
Patriot Radio News Hour. Rocking and firing this morning. Thanks for tuning in. The blind leads the stupid here. Appreciate all the affiliates, all the people. We know you have a choice when you listen. I stole that from, you have a choice when you fly.
We thank you for flying with us.
Right, but once you're in the plane, you don't have a choice. And we don't take credit cards.
They only take credit cards.
No cash.
They only take credit cards.
Anyway, just thought I'd have a little fun with that. We're talking about, yesterday I was watching Fox, and they had on this gal, Emma Meschel. I remember the name. It caught my ear because my granddaughter, Emma, who's head of campusreform.org, and they interviewed her about what's going on the college campuses across the country. And, well, it caught my eye because they mentioned Syracuse, and Joe, of course.
A huge homer.
Yeah. Homer? Why do you call Homer?
Right. I love Syracuse.
Oh, is that what you mean?
I don't love to live there.
Right.
Matter of fact, you got to be really important for me to fly back to Syracuse, i.e., wedding, funeral. Pretty much the only
That's about
two.
it.
Yeah. And way up the list. Like right now, I can only think of like two people. My mom, right? And maybe if my brother got remarried.
Your mom's getting married?
But the other one.
Nah, come on.
That I'd go back to Syracuse. But I love Syracuse sports.
I'm bringing this up because in the newspaper today, for you local people here in Phoenix and the Arizona Repulsive, they had Trump getting on Air Force One with the Constitution just blowing out of his pocket and going down the stairs.
One of the reasons why I don't get that.
Right,
paper
horrible
anymore.
paper. Just turned, just horrible liberal rag, but good fodder for radio. So anyway, it's apparently Trump that's throwing away the Constitution
With the national emergency
Right.
to build the some border fence.
Well, according to campusreform.org, Emma, and Syracuse University doesn't want the Constitution on their campus.
So what happened is a group of students said that they would like to become a registered student organization at Syracuse. And what they wanted to form, it was Young Americans for Freedom. That was going to be the name of the group, Young Americans for Freedom. They wanted to be a registered student organization at Syracuse University. And that the group's foundation was, hey, we're supporters of the Constitution. That was kind of the premise of the group, the Young Americans for Freedom. Syracuse University said they denied the application because, in part, members must support a statement, show support for a statement that supports the U.S. Constitution. That was and they said in their eyes that was exclusionary to students not from the United States.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
Isn't that something?
Having them, if they wanted to join that organization, having them, it's called the Sharon Statement, say that, yes, we support the United States Constitution, and that was apparently exclusionary, therefore application denied.
Wow. I mean, this is what's happening. So don't tell me the president's not holding up the Constitution, Arizona repulsive. I mean, it's amazing what's happening. You know, we're at a point now where there's no compromise. Would you say that's where, this country and this government and pretty much just about how anyone gets anywhere is through compromise. And that's, you don't get everything you want in life. Trump tried to do it, tried to say, okay, I'll do this, you do that. But we're at the point where there's no compromise, and lack of compromise leads to war. Make no mistake about it. That's where this country's heading again.
And I really think, too, the lack of compromise is directly related to the lack of the middle class, right? The middle class is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and more of us, and I told the story about our golf weekend this weekend, me and all my buddies, all by all practical standards, all very successful people, and we're all living, 6 guys are staying at a buddy's house on air mattresses because you know what? It's not worth the expense to stay.
But I also heard you say one of the guys has $700,000 in his 401k.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is where everything gets a little out of whack for me. Okay, the luxury home when I was your age in Arizona 10 years ago was about $350,000. Maybe $500,000. So if you had $700,000 in your retirement account, definitely a 1%er. But the money, the destruction of the currency has gone parabolic. And we're heading into a new economic cycle right now, another one. And this is just how fiat and floating currency goes. And if you look, the first 2 months of this year, financially speaking, every sector, industrials, transportation, commodities, financials, for the first time ever in the history of the United States, every one of them are up now for 2 months. Kick off a year. Has never happened ever.
Right, we got 8 days left of February.
Right.
But as it sits
right now. So if this, in fact, continues, which it will, wages have to go with it, obviously. And you're looking at one of the super cycles. Final cycle, the final cycle is hyperinflation. But what you're going to have and what we're seeing now is rampant inflation. They never reported it ever. This is why you've got record government spending. Are they spending more? Well, I don't know. When we opened this company and we sold 100 ounces of gold, it was $25,000. Today, to sell that same 100 ounces of gold, what's gold at?
$1,345.
Yeah, $135,000 for the same 100 ounce of gold. Did the gold go up or did the dollar go down? That's the issue. It's the record debt that Trump's adding. Okay, is it because that we're spending more money or does everything cost more?
And remember about the gold. Listen, there's no fancy improvements to it. I can't charge my cell phone with that gold piece, right? I can't auto start my car from my bedroom with that 100 ounces of gold. It's still just 100 ounces of gold.
So you've got a whole new super cycle starting. And I mean, well, look at it this way. If you want to go down to the Lincoln dealer and buy a new Navigator today, that's their top of the line SUV, a station wagon, but don't tell the wives, all right? They drive Suburbans.
Yes.
They hated station wagons, love Suburbans, love Lincolns. So the Lincoln Navigator is a $100,000 vehicle. Mexico, Detroit, I don't know. If it was built in Detroit. The great thing is, I remember Henry Ford when he started saying, I want to let people make enough money to buy the cars that they're building. Okay? I guarantee you there ain't a UAW worker alive that's dropping $100,000 for a Lincoln Navigator. It's not happening. He can't afford it. But what's interesting is that the average median price for a home in Detroit, I looked in one of the sections, one of the suburbs, is $75,000.
You can buy a home,
Right, for 75.
or you can buy this brand new Navigator for 100.
Lincoln. You know, it's weird. Life is weird. And I mean, how things go are amazing. In 1967, when the Cederstroms snuck in illegally from Iowa in a 68 Chrysler New Yorker, 7 of us in a car, 5 kids and 2 parents. We didn't have any papers. We were illegal. And we moved to Scottsdale. Everything went into I think it was a Mayflower moving van.
Okay.
And my mom had a 65 Chevy 2 Nova convertible that they bought new in 65. Now, it was 2 years old. They were going to ship it. But the guy, and I was 8 years old, and I remember the conversation. He goes, you know what? I think we can just go ahead, drive this thing up the ramps and tie it down and throw it in the moving van. So they shipped it. My dad tipped them a little extra money, and in it went with the furniture. I don't think they'll do that anymore. So off of it goes United. Sorry, that was the company, okay. United Moving. So it gets into town. My parents buy a home on an acre, a brand new home in North Scottsdale on an acre. I think it was $24,000. What's interesting is I saw that same Nova go through Barrett-Jackson. Not the same car, but the twin do.
Right.
Same
Similar,
color, same style,
same model,
same year. Brought $85,000 last month. And I'm thinking, if my dad knew, take care of that Nova, someday it's going to be worth 3 times what this house is.
A Nova.
Yeah, a Nova. Weird deal. So trying to figure out what's happened to the money and where it all lands and where it loses its value is, it's like trying to herd cats. But the one thing we know for sure is that everything is becoming at a very rapid pace right now. Every sector across the board is costing more money the first 50 days of this year. And it's because ultimately the dollar's coming apart. This is why you have J.P. Morgan announce their Bitcoin. Did you do on that?
You know what's so funny? No, I didn't even talk about it.
This is crazy.
It's absolutely ridiculous because when you think about why do people want Bitcoin, right? It's because they don't want the banks to know what they're doing, right? It's to be private, and for the bank to actually say, hey, we've got a Bitcoin, it just kind of tells you, it's like I said all along, Bitcoin's going to zero.
Well, Bitcoin
all
is
of those
zero.
things are going to zero because we're going to have a Federal Reserve electronic currency sooner or later.
How could Bitcoin be worth more money than gold? Anyone want to answer me that question? Doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, you look at it, but again, it's designed, and your son is the one who told me what it's for, and people accept Bitcoin.
Yes.
And he said you could get fake IDs.
Yes.
As all college kids, God forbid, get fake IDs. Maybe not all.
This is why I didn't tell the story.
You should tell the story.
No, because I don't want the kids that are listening to understand that they can go buy a little Bitcoin and send away for a fake ID.
Right. You can buy it online through the dark web.
Yes.
You can get a fake ID with a Bitcoin. The reason they use Bitcoin is they can't trace it to your parents, I guess. So where do the kids get the Bitcoin? I still don't know. I don't know how
they buy them. You can buy, you don't buy Bitcoin right now is $3,800 or $3,900. They don't buy a whole coin.
Gotcha.
You can buy, just, hey, I want $50 worth of Bitcoin so I can send it to this guy who's going to send me.
Now they can load it on their phone, obviously, somehow. And then they're able to buy things with it. So, but here, the bank has no record, and the parents have no record. So this is really what it's used for. I didn't know that till Christmas at your house.
It's literally a criminal, nefarious activity thing for a lot of people.
Well, it's illegal because, Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution. You can't make any money, right? Only the Treasury can do it. But J.P. Morgan came out and see that, again, people like the idea of Bitcoin because everybody uses cards. Everybody. We used to laugh going, do you really think the day, this is how old we are, doing radio, you really think the day will come that someone will go to a football game and order a hot dog and a beer and put it on a credit card? Unfathomable when we were doing this radio show 20 years ago. Unfathomable. No way. Now, the rare thing is you think someone will actually pay cash.
Well, you know what? Example, Florida Marlins, the baseball team. Starting this season, they won't even take cash.
No more cash.
Nope.
Well, that's where it's going. So, you're looking at these tectonic shifts. Ultimately, the bank gets a piece of every transaction.
That's why they love the card.
That's why they like the Bitcoin.
They love the debit card. They love the credit card. They love the Bitcoin. Why? Because they get a piece.
And people don't understand this. They don't. Most people, I guarantee you, the younger generation has no idea. Because, the government, and banks, and everybody gets everything for free. This is how they've pitched this. Never once do they tell them, the merchant, the guy that you're handing the card to, has to pay a fee to the bank for everything you buy. Oh, and on top of that, everything you bought is on record forever, as long as you live. So now when you're, socialized medicine and you're not feeling too good and you're 62 years old and they're like, you know what? You had 473 hot dogs, 2,870 beers throughout your life. You did not earn any more health care. You're done. So
we put you in front of the tribunal,
right,
and the tribunal said denied.
And on top of that, we looked at your DNA. You're going to be dead in a year anyway. You get nothing. All right. Maybe we're taking it a little too far. Patriot Radio News Hour will be back. It's halftime. Stay with us.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily broadcast from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, a national volunteer organization founded by Phyllis Schlafly and continuing to uphold her legacy by opposing radical feminism and representing a traditional conservative perspective in our nation's capital. Now, the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
The left's narrative of President Trump's decision-making processes is that he's an egocentric buffoon stumbling from one bad idea to the next. However, even Democrats are having trouble arguing against his proposal to establish a space force to defend American interests on the final frontier. In a meeting with the National Space Council, President Trump boldly declared, when it comes to defending America, it's not enough to have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance in space. Not only do these strong words reflect the attitude of the late President Ronald Reagan, but they are also a balanced response to the threats facing America today. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967, which is considered the foundation of all laws governing outer space, has long been used to tie the hands of Americans who want to defend our interests. This treaty totally prohibits the militarization of space with nuclear weapons or other weapons of mass destruction. However, it should come as no surprise that nations like Russia and China have no qualms about going back on their word with regards to this treaty. Today, both of them are completely capable of taking down huge portions of our space-based infrastructure. President Trump knows a bad deal when he sees one, and the Outer Space Treaty of 1967 is a bad deal for the American people. If we continue to make ourselves the only superpower following this treaty, we open the door for hostile actors to take our nation hostage from the skies. The only solution is to embrace military superiority in orbit as well as on Earth. The Bible says, where there is no vision, the people perish. It takes a leader with the vision of President Trump to champion the Space Force program. Space warfare is an integral part of the future of national defense. To deny this fact is to deny science itself. We cannot bury our heads in the sand any longer. Through Trump's leadership, we can keep America free and safe. Let's stand behind this Space Force program together.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. Do you like what you see at the Trump White House? Will President Trump continue to advance conservative ideals? At phyllisschlafly.com, you gain complete access to Phyllis Schlafly Eagles news updates and commentaries and can track our work on Capitol Hill. Go online often to phyllisschlafly.com. And thanks for listening to the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
He came from the school where you didn't need nothing if you couldn't make it with your own two hands. He was backwoods.
Man, I can't believe this song is still going. It's perfect, Joe. Thank you. Much better. I can hear myself and been yelling and screaming. Now I can hear myself think. I talk to myself a lot anyway, so I can Yeah, I don't know. 1-800-951-0592. The world, man, the tectonic shifts that we're seeing. How about OAC? What's her name? Cortez?
Yes.
You follow her at all? She's crazy.
Yeah, I try not to.
Amazing. You know, of course, they're trying to put forth no fossil fuels because if we don't do this within 12 years, no gasoline vehicles, none in 12 years. She says because the world's going to end in 12 years if we don't do it, as we all know. It was very matter-of-factly.
I think she talked to Nostradamus, and they came up with that together.
Well, I got her outsmarted. I still got 15 years left on my mortgage. So Lori and I, we're sitting pretty good. We're sitting pretty good, OAC. So thanks for thinking of us. Maxine Waters, she's just gone from outright stupid to dangerous. I mean, now, she's trying to send everybody out into the streets to rally. And this is not a good business model. This is not the peace-love generation. They go out and you get all these different sects and factions, and they go out to do damage. Except here in Phoenix. We had Trump. Don't mess with the Phoenix cops. We've always known that. I grew up here. All right. This was the Wild West. This is the remnants of the West. We moved here in the 60s, and growing up, going to high school, and just like, we tested our boundaries. The Phoenix police, you learn at a young age, have no sense of humor. None. Do not mess with these guys. Now, I heard this morning that they're going to eliminate military-style training at the Phoenix Police Academy. And this will be the first, these next classes coming will be the first time. They're not going to teach them self-defense classes like they teach or military tactics. Apparently, we're just going to, kill the people with kindness. And if you saw the Trump rally that we had here, I forget how long ago. This is when they had just burnt down the cities. And I mean, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days, the elected officials don't do anything. The police didn't do anything. They just let them burn the towns until they just pretty much got tired of doing it. They did millions and millions.
Right, like Baltimore
right.
was one of the examples where the mayor there said, just let them riot.
Right, we're not going to arrest anybody. Just let them go. They're just a bunch of kids. Phoenix, on the other hand, started gassing them at about 9:15.
Get off the street.
You guys are done. They fired beanbags at them, started gassing them. By 11 o'clock, the place was quiet as a mouse. Everybody went to bed. So that's the way it's done. But again, that's they're not supposed to do that. Of course, the biggest news is, I guess, the wall. It's huge.
It's a touchy subject.
Touchy subject, the wall. Now, out here at this point in time, really, if I was to take you, and you people that are listening anywhere in the country that aren't in a border state, you really don't understand what's happened here. And, you go Arizona, you go south here and go to the parts that have always been traditionally, economically challenged. They basically are Mexico now. They have been for going on 15 years. Probably.
I was going to say, it's been a while.
Been a while.
Yeah.
And when you go down there, everything's written in Spanish. I'm not making this up. Blocks, miles and miles and miles and miles. There is no empty commercial real estate. There is no see-through real estate. Tire stores, grocery stores. The list goes on and on and on. Busy, bustling part of the town, and all signs are in Spanish, all language spoken in Spanish. For all intents and purposes, if you went to Mexico in the 70s and you went to South Phoenix today, it would look the same. That's where we're at. So putting up a wall at this point, will probably just keep them in. But you think that 16 states have sued Trump. And I'm trying to count the states on the Mexican border. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that it?
I think 4.
4. 16. So here's the states. If for you kids keeping score at home, Colorado. Yep, you guys are suing President Trump for his declaration of emergency at the border. California, Connecticut, Delaware. Now wait a minute. Connecticut and Delaware, can they really walk that far? Is it El Chapo's brother flying in a Learjet, sneaking in? What are they doing fine? Hawaii? Hello? Hawaii
Maybe
filing.
they're really good swimmers.
Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, and Virginia have all filed soon. Does any of that make any sense to you?
None of it makes any sense to me. I don't understand the whole thing. I mean, it's either we're a country or we're not.
Well, here's
right. I mean, either we're a country or we're not. Either we're a nation of laws or we're not.
I've
it
come
can't
up
be both.
With the Eric Cedarstrom illegal alien protection package. Okay, you ready for this one? Well, I agree. I think, since basically all Republicans and, 16 states want all the illegals we can possibly muster in here. And, when you think about it, if you're Yum Brands, what do they own? Taco Bell. If you're, or McDonald's. No, they don't own McDonald's.
No, they own Taco Bell, KFCs, Pizza Hut.
They don't care where you're from. They don't care. They don't care if you're on food stamps. Matter of fact, if they take the EBT, they want you. So it's into their best interest. Walmart, best interest. They don't care where you're from when you come in and shop. They don't ask. They don't care what language you speak. Home Depot, nobody cares.
Do you have money to pay for something? If you do, we're happy.
So I'm saying that I think that we should just, when they all come in, and this is what you want, everybody gets to come in, and we need to reinstate the draft. Okay? This is Eric Cedarstrom's plan. We reinstate the draft.
I want to be clear on this. This is not actually representative of KXXT or KHNC's beliefs.
Well, so here's how this is going to go down. And let's face it, it'll get the kids off the computers. All right? It'll actually maybe teach them something. They'll have to get motivated. I had to sign up with the Selective Service. All right? People got drafted. That's how this country was. You never know. We might go to war again. So now we're going to register everybody. Okay, if you're under a certain age, we'll give them till 30. Everyone under 30 and under.
How about 26?
All right, 26.
Because you can stay on your parents' health care till you're 26.
there we go. So 26.
No, we got a precedent kind of set there.
27, you may have to go home. Now, here's the caveat. So now you're drafted. Come on in. It'll slow it down a lot. Wait a minute. If I go there, they're going to draft me? But we're going to take all the illegals that come in and draft them, and it can be Army or Navy. That's run by the president. He's the commander-in-chief. He runs the Army and the Navy. Okay, we're going to bring it. We'll finish this up here. We're going to go into plan phase 2 of the Eric Cedarstrom immigration package and exploration on Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after these messages. Yeah, Greg Allman, man. The album Laid Back. Good Patriot. Great music. Loved his music. Glad you still play all these songs. Hey, if you need a realtor in town, anywhere, actually anywhere in the country, but if you want a really mean one who's 6'8", beautiful, tall, blonde, who
looks like Laura Dern.
Yeah, Laura Dern's stand-in. That's my gorgeous wife, Lori Cedarstrom, who doesn't take no for an answer.
I have no problem saying this. You were a horrible realtor.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
Lori is the best realtor I know.
Well, she's best anywhere. Look her up online. Lori Cedarstrom, 480-231-5153. If your realtor's not getting it done, she will fix that problem for you. And anywhere in the world, actually, or Colorado as well. She's got affiliates everywhere. Coldwell Banker. You can call here. I'll give you her number if you missed it. So, first time I saw her number on the side of the road, I was like, what? I look how far I've come.
She's on bus stop.
Oh, I know. You can't go. She's been on TV so many times I can't count it. You know, Bob Massey, the property guy, just passed away. Lori did a show with him. So anyway, Lori Cedarstrom, Super Realtor, 480-231-5153. We are now back to the Eric Cedarstrom immigration package. And I think I've got this. Believe it or not, it's pretty simple. I hope Trump, and the government, we used to track the listers, and how many of them were government.this.gov.gov. We had a lot of government listeners. I'm sure they're still out there. So any of you people that have an ear to Trump, We're going to reinstate the Selective Service, and you have to sign up. So we're not going to be illegal anymore, and I don't want to be politically correct. I've given that up. I want to join the masses. And we know they're not illegal. They're undocumented. And I want to help these people become fully documented.
We will get you the documentation that you need.
If you happen to have come in undocumented from, say, Mexico, not a problem. Private. You're now in the Army. Unfortunately, you're going to be stationed in Mexico City. Since there's no borders, right? We don't have any borders. Everybody want any borders? Fine.
You speak the language.
We're sending you back
to
Mexico City, where you came from. You're in the U.S. Army. Now, if you sneak back, you're no longer undocumented. You are AWOL. You now belong to the commander-in-chief, who happens to be Donald Trump. He'll take care of it. So now we can put all the people, ship them back, and they'll be held in the stockade and dealt with, and everything will take care of itself. Of course, if you come in from anywhere else, you'll have to invade your own country when we send you back. But ultimately, I think this will work. I think it's perfect. It appeases all sides. We're just going from undocumented to fully documented, and now, of course, you're representing the American Armed Forces in your own hometown. And as we head into globalism, little by little, the more people that come here, more we send back, pretty soon we'll occupy the whole world.
At least all of our hemisphere. I mean, we
not?
probably have a bunch of troops in Venezuela right now.
Yeah, I think it works perfect. So anyway, that's I put a lot of thought and effort into that. I thought, if they realized when they were coming in that they were actually going to get drafted and then sent back to where they came from, do you think it would slow them down? Of course, they'd have full benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. Most of them send as much money as possible back home anyway.
Yeah, that's true. They just take it. We'll just mail it to them right there.
Right.
So, 1-800-951-0592. What's gold at today?
Gold is up again today. Another $3-4, $1,343. Silver's up 13 cents, $16.10. The Dow was up 20 points as we are all awaiting. I know we can't wait for the Fed minutes from the January meeting.
Right. Well, big deal.
Yes,
like anybody cares.
Exactly. But somehow this is going to be, this is very important.
Wall Street's looking at, of course, it had its big day because of China. Oh, yeah, we're going to sign the China trade agreements. Let me tell you something. That's strictly a rumor. Chinese, they always try to tell us what the Chinese are going to do, and the Chinese never do what they tell us what they're going to do. It never happens.
Well, China has English publications, and I've already told all of our listeners, don't even listen. If Larry Kudlow says it, it's not true. Just go over there and you can read it for yourself. Listen, they're more than happy. They've said it 1,000,000 times. We'll buy more soybeans. We will. Or we'll sign us up. What do you want? You want to buy oil? Okay, we'll buy some oil. We'll buy some natural gas. Well, listen, we got 1.4 billion people. We'll buy stuff. Well, what about you taking all of our technology and making you give us all that stuff if we come over there?
Yeah, dead silence.
Crickets.
Well, they had to give them all the intellectual property, and that's
still. And again, China's point on this is pretty simple. Hey, we're not forcing you to come here,
right? So, right. But I've always said we're going to want it back, and we've come to that point. So but again, the political football that kicks it around, it's crazy. So. But we'll see. Buy on the rumor, sell on the fact. If you're a day trader, you're going to see one or two wild gyrations in the equity markets based on fake news. China says no to trade deal. down 800. And then 2 days
Trump
later.
says trade talks are going
back
well.
Right. But ultimately, if they do put something together, it's not going to be hidden. Okay? Remember when Hu Jintao came over here and bought Cadillacs? Does anybody remember that? They're like, what? Oh, yeah, the Chinese are great people. See, NAFTA's working, GATT's working. They're coming over to buy our stuff, and we're going to ship it over there. No, he bought one Cadillac, sent it back to their factory, and had it reverse engineered, figured out how to build it. That's all they did. Boeing, everything. Same deal.
Now you got Tesla, right? Tesla's building their plant there, right?
How about
government?
How about
really
Ford?
New government motors.
Yeah, Ford announcing a new electric F-150. I guess they're going to have Ocasio-Cortez as their spokesman. Patriot Radio News Hour will be back. Patriot Radio News Hour final segment. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for allowing me into your life. It kind of feels good to get the cobwebs off, get rolling again. Amazing that, believe it or not, you get out of practice talking. So it's taking me a while. Take me a while to get up and going again. We'll just see what the future holds, if that's what we're going to do. I just had to get some of this stuff out. It's driving me crazy. The water wars have started again. Arizona signed emergency drought deal,
on the water for the Colorado River.
But, I don't know what's going to happen here because I think the snowpack is huge this year. I think Lake Powell's going to get full or filled up. We'll see. A lot of snow. But the one thing that never changed, the old Wild West adage, is whiskey is for drinking and water is for fighting. And that's kind of what's happening now. But ultimately, nobody talks at Las Vegas and the everything's a water park over there, and I believe the first measure of the drought when Lake Mead goes dry, and it can't handle the amount of people.
Right. Vegas was never supposed to have that many people in it.
Right, and the whole thing's a water park, so it just can't handle it. Too many people. And California, it's crazy what's happening. No one talks about how many illegals are there. While we're talking about the wall, no one talks about their effect on water consumption. That's something that has never been touched on, again, from the sick minds of Eric Cedarstrom. All these are weighing on the consumption of the water, which, let's face it, when I was a kid, you could touch the water from Hoover Dam. If not, you were darn close. Now you can't see it with binoculars. It's way that far down. Yeah. So something's going to give. They want to shut the farmers off first. Nobody knows what they
I never understood that one.
I don't get it.
I got a great idea. Let's get the farmers out first. Then no one can eat anything.
I guess they figure as long as you keep the water parks going in Vegas, a salad. Forget the T-bone. The salad, which we got to get rid of all cows, by the way. But the salad is going to be $88 an ounce. So, I don't know. Joe?
800-951-0592. U.S. $20 gold pieces, 1 through 9, $14.55. 10 through 19, $14.45. 20 or more, $14.35 at 800-951-0592. And one last look here. Like I said, gold, $1,343 in change. Silver, $16.11. The Dow is up 40 points, and we will probably vaguely, maybe not, talk about what was in or not in the Federal Reserve minutes tomorrow. Kind of, though, defeats the purpose once we found out a couple of months ago that they just changed the minutes if they decided that they said something Wall Street didn't like.
Yeah, I know. Well, right? That's how they've always done it. So.
Oh, wait, you didn't like that? Well, the minutes we said something different. So,
or seasonally adjust everything. Yeah. They like that too. So
once we have that, I think GDP's coming out pretty soon next week, and I'm sure everybody will go back and forth about whether they were hawkish or dovish or this or that. And right now, as we speak, the Chinese are here. And they're having some more trade talks, so maybe we'll get something out of them as well. But U.S. $20 gold pieces, 1 through 9, $14.55, 10 through 19, $14.45, 20 or more, $14.35.
Joe, thanks for having me. I'm going to come back tomorrow if it's
great.
All right.
I love it. Love to have you. Everybody take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be back tomorrow.